Why do you like chapter 18? You like most of group 4? Are you talking about group? Which chapter are you talking about? Group 4. No. The final chapter?
It's kind of a summary of all 17 and
17 or 19?
But especially 19.
19, okay. But only group 2 liked 18. Why? Why do you like it? You prefer it? Group 2 says this. In chapter 18, Mellows finally realized that she is a real man and he wants a happy life more than money and the machine. This is contrasting. This is in contrast to Clifford, who is keen on the money and machine. He even wants to possess his wife, who does not want to stay with him anymore. These different attitudes of the two men show what makes a happy relationship and how the intellectual society puts taboos on people to restraint and possession. Okay. Okay, group 1. Group 1. Why did you take chapter 19? It's the most impressive chapter. Why?
We decided to go with chapter 19 because we felt like it was a very good conclusion to kind of summarize about our feelings on Connie and Miller's relationship.
Mm.
And so we favored that particular chapter to kind of be able to express our thoughts.
Okay. Group 1 says, we pick up chapter 19 as the most impressive part. Connie's been changed drastically, but we don't like her fundamental characteristic. Also, we talk about the future relationship between Mellows and Connie. How? Can you expect? You are going to write another chapter about it. All of our team members don't think their relations will last permanently. Why not? Mellows never says, I love you to Connie. Even in the last letter, it seems they've been changed, but their personality is not altered to the core. That's why we have a negative view on their future relations. Interesting. Very interesting. What do you think? Group 3? What do you think of group 1's essay? Connie and Mellows, they will not change. Do you agree? Really? Okay. Do you want to write an essay about their future characters? You have no time, right? Okay. And group 1, 2, 3, 4. Group 4. What do you think? What do you think of Group A's essay? Mellows and Connie? They did not change at all, right? In the future, they will not change. What do you think? Do you agree?
What's the question?
The question?
Yes.
Mellows and Connie will not change in the future.
I don't think so.
Why?
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 Because just how Connie's behavior throughout the entire book, she's always been
They don't seem to like Constance. How about you? Do you like Constance? Constance? Connie? Connie, yeah.
Not so much.
Not so much?
She's dishonest.
Dishonest? Where? Yeah, at one.
She's like,
She's having an entire affair.
yeah, that's the entire book is about her being dishonest.
So you do not sympathize. You do not sympathize with Connie. No, at all. So you hate D.H. Lawrence's novel.
She's an impulsive person. She's impulsive and dishonest.
Oh, interesting. I've never thought of that. Right? She's very sincere, and she's trying to protect herself. Right? In this situation, what could you do?
I'm not sure.
If you were put in Connie's shoes, how would you react to Clifford's his quarrel and he is mistreating her, and how could you react?
Well, okay. Because this is just my perspective.
Okay.
It's biased for sure. But I think my issue with Connie as a character is that she is very much trying to preserve herself, but she's doing it at the expense of other people, and she is highly inconsiderate of other people as she goes through this. So she is really more involved in kind of finding her own pursuits. Of there's one particular chapter that I talked about in one of my essays in which it kind of opens and Connie explains basically how annoying it is that Clifford is really nervous about her leaving, and to me that just made me dislike her even more as a character, because it was clear to me that she didn't even understand that perhaps the idea and the clear evidence that she is having an affair makes her husband nervous because she was his main confidant. She was his main source, and she had taken on the responsibility of caring for him, like she said she would when she married him. And then she decides that because she's not getting enough physical attention from him and not enough emotional attention from him, that instead of trying to work it out with him, that she goes and she finds other partners and continues to lie about other partners.
What do you think of animal instinct to human?
I don't think
How could you control your desire? Because to animals and to human beings, it's a basic instinct. And how could you control it?
Well, the issue is not animal instinct or basic instinct, it's civilized humans.
Oh, civilized, okay.
There's no excuse. I mean, they're currently working within some of the issues of their own society and their own class system, but there is no reason for D.H. Lawrence to try and write a character that is supposed to be this incredibly intelligent, independent woman to not be able to control herself and not to be considerate of others. So these are the reasons that I don't like Connie's character. I don't think that she's trustworthy.
Okay. You don't like Connie's character, but you like D.H. Lawrence's novel.
I like
This
other
one.
D.H. Lawrence's work. I'm not sure how I feel about this one because the messages in it are not very clear to me, and of the messages that I do receive from it, I'm not sure I agree with them or the way that they were.
Okay. Have you followed the characters, the character Clifford closely?
Yeah,
Do you like him?
I liked him in the beginning, and then he kind of developed this very strange, out of character, perverse relationship with Mrs. Bolton. And at least for me, that didn't seem like a natural progression for his character, because I don't know, maybe it's just the key flaw in all of these characters is that they're not talking with each other and they're not being honest with each other. But for the most part, I thought that Clifford for quite a while was very open and very vulnerable with Connie, and then after he got continually shut down, his first reaction was not to call out his wife on the pretty evident affair that she was having, but instead seek a very strange, maternal, but yet sexual relationship with Mrs. Bolton. It was very, very odd, and I didn't quite see the point to it.
Okay. I agree in part with your opinion, and to agree to the judge's final judgment. Do you want your wife or your servants to read it? What do you think? Judge's judgment.
I probably wouldn't, but also I come from Texas, and so while
Oh, I see.
standards of like what we share with our family and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like there would be other things that would be able to communicate the messages of that
Mhm.
book
Oh,
in a
okay.
way that I more agree with, or things that I feel more confidently in
Oh, okay.
sharing.
Okay, thank you. Luis? Luis? What do you think? You're from where?
I haven't read.
Texas?
I haven't read it, so I don't know.
Do you like Lawrence novel or do you like Connie? Do you?
I haven't read it, so I don't know.
You don't know?
Will I?
Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm going to make a question out of this. What do you think of Connie? And you can talk about it, okay? One of the questions. You can either take it or not, okay? Let's go to the last 3 chapters and read part of it. Chapter 17, chapter 17 begins with the dialogue between Hilda and Connie, and it's kind of interesting. It begins with the conversation, quotation, right? You see, Hilda, said Connie after lunch, when they were nearing London, you have never known either real tenderness or real sensuality, colon, right? Colon. And if you do know them with the same person, it makes a difference. What do you think? This is impressive beginning, right? This is the gist of D.H. Lawrence's meaning of this novel, right? With the same person, right? With the same person, not a different. Of course, Connie has had different partners. Before husband, there was German guy, and a husband, and then Michaelis, and then Mellows, right? And also we know that the relations between Mellows and Connie undergoes changes, right? So from the very beginning, they didn't like it. They didn't didn't like each other, but they come to like it. And also physically, Connie responds differently to Mellows. They didn't feel it. She didn't feel it at first. Then began to feel something, and she learns the sensual things later on, right? Okay, and. What do you think of Hilda? Hilda is a straight person. She's attracted to the woman, right? Lesbian, right? There is a mention of it in the novel. And what do you think of father, Sir Malcolm, page 305? There's a brief description of Father Sir Malcolm on page 305, third paragraph. He was still handsome, robust, though just little afraid of the new world that had sprung up around him. He had got a second wife in Scotland, younger than himself, and richer, but he had as many holidays away from her as possible, just as with his first wife. Interesting, right? So he married her. He married the second wife because he loved her, or because he loved her money. What do you think? It's interesting, right? Connie sat next to him at the opera. He was handsomely stout and had stout thighs, but they were still stronger and well-knit, the thighs of a healthy man who had taken his pleasure in life. His good-humored selfishness, his dark sort of independence, his unrepenting sensuality. It seemed to Connie she could see him all in his well-knit, straight thighs, just a man, now becoming old man, which is sad because in a strong, thick male legs, there were none of the alert sensitiveness, power of tenderness, which is the very essence of youth, that which never dies once it is there. And he's talking about legs, right? Right. Connie walked up to the extensive legs, and then, interesting description. And about Paris, page 306, third paragraph. In Paris, at any rate, she felt a bit of sensuality still, but what a weary and tired one of sensuality. One of lack of tenderness, or Paris was sad. One of saddest towns, weary of its now mechanical sensuality, weary of the tension of money, money, money. Weary even of resentment and conceit, it just weary to death. And still not sufficiently Americanized or Londonized to hide the wordness under a mechanical jig, jig, jig. Jig, jig, jig. Interesting. Lawrence uses this kind of repetition, right? Jig, 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 right? Eliot, did you read the Wasteland? Wasteland, yeah. This kind of image appears in Wasteland. And the same page second from bottom. Connie found herself shrinking and afraid of the world. Sometimes she was unhappy for a little while in the boulevards or the Bois or the Luxembourg Gardens, but already Paris was full of Americans and English, strange Americans in the oldest uniforms and the usually drilly English that are so hopelessly abroad, hopeless abroad. Okay, and page 12. In Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, we found some part of the novel gives us a description of place in different places, right? So it's like reads like a travel writing, and this novel shows part of it. So why? These days we can travel freely, right? Most of us can travel, but at the time, most people stay home. You have to spend whole months to cross the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, or things like that. So it must be interesting to introduce this kind of descriptions in the novel, right? So travelogues, part of it, travelogue. Page 112 to 13. It's a description of Italy, right? Italians are not passionate, rarely having any abiding passion of any sort. Do you agree? Italians. Page 13, the first paragraph, second sentence. Italians are not passionate. Passion has deep reserves. They are easily moved and often affectionate, but they rarely have any abiding passion of any sort. Maybe true, right? Kind of true. So back to page 309, 307. Page 307 from bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth paragraph. As for people, people were all alike with very little differences. They all wanted to get money out of you, or if you were travelers, you wanted to get enjoyment perforce, like squeezing blood out of stone. Poor mountains, poor landscape. It all had to be squeezed and squeezed and squeezed again to provide that thrill, to provide enjoyment. What did people mean? But they're simply enjoying of themselves. It's true, it's still true, right? Okay, page 114. Okay, 114. Page 114 from second paragraph, from top. Ah, how sad that man first prostitutes woman, then woman prostitutes man. Giovanni was pining to prostitute himself, dribbling like a dog, wanting to give himself to a woman, and for money. Connie looked at Venice far off, low and rose-colored upon the water, built of money, blossomed of money, and dead with money. The money, deadness, money, prostitution, and deadness. This is the essence of the novel, right? And a letter of Clifford Rouse Connie, page 315, and to 316. This is a letter. Okay, in the middle, I repeat this from hearsay. You see the quotation marks, right? Opening quotation marks. At the end of the paragraph, no closing quotation marks. What does it mean? The letter continues, right? So the letter begins with, I repeat this from hearsay, and then goes on. It begins again on page 316, the second word from bottom. About Mr. Yellows, I don't know how much I told you. It seems this one. This is another letter from Mrs. Bolton, right? She had the letter. Connie had the letter from Mrs. Bolton, and then colon and quotation mark, opening quotation. Here, and keeps on until page 318. First paragraph, at the end of paragraph, there is a closing quotation mark. So, okay, page 18, chapter 18, page 330. Okay. Father and daughter, Connie and Mallows. It's about these three people. Connie finds him so different in a formal suit of thin, dark clothes. Connie meets Mallows in a formal suit, and he looks different, totally different. What do you think? Right? If you are in a different suit, you looks different, right? And on page 339, there is a description of the encounter between Sir Malcolm and Clifford and Kipper. Also, there is dialogue between the two people. They are drunk, both of them drink, and they're drunk. They exchange words. It's quite interesting, right? And chapter 19, the last chapter, page, Connie's final letter to Clifford, 347. 47. Chapter 19 begins with a letter, begins with Clifford's letter and ends with, Connie's letter and ends with Clifford's letter. Chapter 19, the last chapter. It begins with Connie's letter, right? Right? Yeah, Connie's letter, and then ends with Clifford's letter. So it's framed with 2 letters. It's quite interesting, very effective. So, Lord draftsman. It's very skillful novelist. Okay, so much for today, and good luck with the exam. And it's not easy, right? It's not difficult, so enjoy taking it. Okay, see you on Wednesday.